Hi, this is audio of the How Would You Handle This situation for Chapter 2. In this particular situation, there was a pay discrepancy, and two people were hired, and they actually have exactly the same title. And they were hired by two different managers, and they are both star performers. And yet they are not being paid nearly the same with the same qualifications and all that. So it ends up being quite a big problem for human resources to deal with when this occurs, because it can be unfair if there's a pay discrepancy between two people who have the same job and are relatively good performers. So you have a few options here for this situation. The first thing is you want to look at prevention, and by setting a pay scale, which would just be a range that people can be hired between, you actually eliminate this kind of problem when you have two different managers hiring people. So the first thing you'll want to do to prevent it from happening in the future is to make sure that a specific pay scale for each job is set. The second thing that you can look at doing is raising the pay of the person who's not being paid as much, or of course you can lower the person's pay who is being paid more. Of course, this has many problems associated with it from the aspect that no one's going to be happy if their pay is lowered, and it may cost the company too much if you raise the pay of the other person. However, having said that, it sounds like in this particular organization, the pay overall needs to be looked at, and possibly everybody's pay adjusted rather than just these two positions. So as a result of this, probably what I would do is go back and really gather some data on the different salaries that people are being hired at, and really look at changing the pay schedule altogether, with this particular situation being ultimately the one that brought it to light. But if there's a problem here, it probably means there are pay discrepancies in other jobs as well, and should definitely be something that is looked at within the organization. And that's how I would handle this.